Well, welcome to Anxiety Simplified Podcast. I'm Joanne Williams, and I'm here to share some powerful strategies I've used with my clients as a 30-year mental health professional to lower anxiety simply that you can use as we bring this right into your own home or car. And we hope this makes your life just a little happier and less stress. And we really want to thank our loyal listeners for making this happen. We really appreciate it. So enjoy. So, a summary of today's show is, don't we all know the worrier in relationships, and they may say they're going to go and do something and then they change their mind at the last minute after the tickets are bought? That's what we're talking about today. How anxiety can get between you and not only your partners, but friends and couples, and really seems to control the entire experience or relationship. And it can be really frustrating for anyone to the point where you don't even want to do the things with that couple anymore. So, we're going to talk about 10 ways to not allow anxiety to ruin your relationships. Do you know that couple that does kind of say they're going to do something and then they don't at the last minute, or they freak out in the restaurant at the waiter and you kind of get embarrassed? Maybe just because the meal's cold, or if the wine spills, they just freak out. Or worse, you did make a vacation plan 6 months ago and it's all planned, and the couple pulls out at the last moment because the woman is freaking out to fly. She just fears that the plane's going to crash. And you are left feeling like you're holding the bag for these expenses, and feel now you have to scramble to find another couple, which adds on more stress for you. Do you have any friends like that? You probably don't anymore. This situation is being affected by anxiety. Even when you may think it's just they're being rude or irresponsible, the fear is represented as this being afraid of flying, that she's actually afraid, um, about something that is unknown or hasn't even happened yet. But she's projecting it in her mind that it might happen. And that's what's anxiety. And irritability can be also a symptom of anxiety, where the person may fly off the handle at the least little thing, like that wine spilling at the restaurant, or needing rigid rules to not feel out of control. But you just think of them as kind of like controlling and weird. And do you ever experience irritability yourself when you get stressed, kind of short tempered, or at your partner or boss, or if they do it? How does that affect your day at work or in your relationships? Not well, as I've observed as a marriage counselor for 30 years. And we're going to discuss 10 ways to handle the anxiety in different ways if that is a feature of your relationship. But anxiety can stress any kind of relationship, whether it's your marriage, coworkers, or family members, or even getting together. Some of the ways to help lower anxiety effects on the relationship are making sure that you are doing everything you can to keep your own boundaries, your own strength and passions and values and lifestyle consistent, because it can make you a happier person and less likely to be as affected by your partner's irritability or controlling ways. And it can make it easier for you to stick to the relationship rules that you agreed on without emotions, and just kind of sticking to the facts when you discuss things, instead of going maybe where your partner goes to way off the edge with too many or too much emotion. You also need to communicate your own anxiety to your loved ones. If you are afraid about the next get together with family, or a meeting that's coming up, or an event you feel like you should tell your loved one about, it is much easier for them to understand why you may need to leave early or easier to make a plan together about that so that it doesn't end up to be a fight in the middle of the party or the get together because you've just got to go. Maybe you make the plan, you bring your own car. So it's just important you're able to discuss these things with each other. And giving your loved ones information about your needs in a particular situation helps them to be more understanding and supportive. And there are many ways to help lessen the anxiety you or they feel, including using medication or exercise, yoga, meditation. There's lots of ways. It's recommended to actually use these kinds of anxiety calming behaviors regularly to build a practice that actually accumulates the calm instead of allowing this anxiety to accumulate. Sometimes routines and feeling prepared are some of the simplest ways that can really create huge relief. Then you can actually share these with a friend who's also anxious or a friend that you actually do things with so they can understand better. Anxiety symptoms may vary from person to person, and there's symptoms that may occur in different situations. So if you have anxiety in your relationship, at just the thought of having a conversation with that partner or partner's family, that avoidance or fear because you just don't know what to say or how to say it can blow up into a major issue. So don't avoid it. If not honestly discussing that you are feeling vulnerable or that you just don't know what to say and how to say it, you can't elicit the support from your trusted partner or what has worked before if you don't talk about it, because they may have more information about their family members and the best way for them to hear it from you. Or just agree with maybe supporting them and whatever it is they're going to be expressing, kind of stand beside them during the conversation and support them and go, yeah, I see that too. Can really be helpful and know that they can actually do this in some way that it doesn't have to be confrontative or confrontational. It's just have a conversation without emotion, but work as a team to figure it out instead of avoiding. Avoiding really seems to be one of the characteristics of anxiety. But clarity always clears the air and can lessen anxiety when you feel understood and supported. The symptoms of anxiety or panic attacks can occur when you allow your anxiety to fester and not be addressed. It can include symptoms of trembling, shaking, sweating, heart palpitations, muscle tension, fear, and concern. A panic attack can even appear like a medical emergency or totally out of proportion to an observer. And to the person having the anxiety or panic attack, it can feel like they're going to die. So if you or your partner have panic attacks, it is a real red flag that internally you are not handling stress or stressful situations well. And when that anxiety is having a chance to build up, instead of learning ways to intervene before this blows up into a panic attack, that then your fear, if you don't start to handle these, then your fear actually may occur because you start a fear loop that the anxiety attack might happen again. And so it's really much harder to stop. So earlier intervention is much better. And I've done a podcast before on panic or anxiety attacks. Please go back and listen to it because I do give very specific ways to start monitoring your thoughts that start that worry loop that can go into a panic attack. So please watch that. There is something you can do. Or it is advised to consult with a professional therapist if you're experiencing more than even these kinds of panic attack symptoms like agitation, nightmares, and these can be symptoms of overwhelm from a deeper unresolved issue, possibly from trauma. These symptoms can be tamed with learned skills to handle the anxiety before they blow up into an anxiety or panic attack. So, I'm going to share 10 keys to helping relationships with anxiety that may be almost the third person in the relationship, or that is a major factor. Number one, do not try to live your life without support. You need it. Find a good therapist, good friend, or workmate, or a partner in life to reassure you. And that will help calm you if you are an anxious person. But don't blame yourself for feeling insecure. Truly, inner self confidence is something that is built within. And it was truly meant to come first from the outside by a primary supportive person, parent, caregiver. And if you didn't receive it from your family, you may need to find it from a professional until you can build those inner skills. Number two, make sure you have conversations with your partner that are from your adult self, not your wounded child. Your adult self is more able to be more grounded in fact and less emotional. Being emotional is fine to show concern or vulnerability to get to the heart of the matter, but it impedes a problem solving conversation. It's just not helpful. Learn to know the difference with kindness to yourself. Number three, your partner needs to be informed about what you are experiencing or when you are getting anxious, if heightened, to really work out a plan for it. It is always good to ask your partner if this is a good time, though, to talk about it first, to make sure that you're not just throwing this at them and that they are willing and able to discuss it with you at that time, or schedule time with your therapist. You don't always have to talk about everything with your partner. Sometimes it's good things to just talk with your therapist about and then bring it back with a solution to your partner. But if building skills is needed, that learning first yourself and then practicing them together with your partner, maybe before an event or a non-anxiety producing situation as part of good communication plan, really can benefit and produce understanding and support. Have couples therapy sessions as scheduled to work out boundaries and rules that you both agree on and can follow to lower stress about unknowns. This is important because you cannot do it on your own in the beginning. You have already proven that. You need help to work this through together with a therapist, and if your partner's willing, so that you can be honest with yourself about what you need as you face your fears. That's where the avoidance happens. You're not facing your fears, and you're going to have to. And it is recommended to see a therapist that you trust, of course, but the therapist is only the coach. You are the player or the players on the field with your partner. It is your responsibility to make the recommended changes, or to practice it, and then report it back to the therapist what worked or didn't work. So then you all can make the change to the new play until it works for you. You are a team member. Treat each other like you are on a team, that you're working for success. Number 5, find some simple relaxation activities that you can do together, either by playing games or taking walks in the park. But you should combine it with something that you both like to do together, that's relaxing, like watching a movie or enjoying a meal, to create happy, secure times. So then when the harder situations come, you can work together. You can check out podcast number 45 on the vagus breathing technique, which is a very simple 4 inhalations and 5 exhalation breathing pattern techniques that can calm you immediately in situations because you are calming and stimulating the vagus nerve. So definitely check that out too. Be honest with your partner and tell them what you're feeling. For example, if you're having doubts about a situation, tell your partner so he or she can give you reassurance or the clarity you need to make a better decision. This is one of the number one things that anyone with anxiety is needing and wanting: reassurance, and to know it's going to be okay. And a good way to start is with getting clarity about how to resolve the issue or make an agreed upon plan. Planning is always going to be a good thing because you'll feel prepared. Let your partner know ahead of time about something that you are planning. Pressure or short notice to get ready will add pressure on them that will increase their short fuse, irritability, or anxiety. Let your partner know if you're having some doubts about the plan beforehand so they can help you with preparation or what is bugging them or you about it so that you both can work it out. So if you can let go and enjoy the occasion that you're working so diligently for. But do not expect your partner to make you happy or make you feel calmer. That is your responsibility, not theirs. Don't be dependent on somebody else. Learn some skills. Number 9, let your partner know if there are changes you want to make, maybe to a contract in your relationship about how things are going or what is working or what is not working. Be clear with each other. That clarity can help to lower your anxiety in a certain situation that maybe you didn't even know was bugging you. Once you start talking about it, you understand now that things have changed and you want to be able to provide clarity around that. Number 10, be prepared to make mistakes. It is all about trial and error. You need to acknowledge and accept that some things will not go as planned. Be flexible. Be able to change your mindset if it gets rigid, to look at it so seriously. Instead, how about it's an adventure? It's a challenge. You don't know how it's going to end. It's okay. And it won't be the end of the world if it doesn't work out perfectly or exactly as planned. In therapy with couples, once I start to hear blaming, resentment, and anger, I know this couple has waited too long to get help. Don't wait. Ask for help. Ask for what you need to be happy, to create a happy relationship. And along the way, you're going to build skills that you can use in other situations, at work or coworkers, to create more happiness around you and your loved ones. So, this podcast is never meant to be a replacement for therapy or any kind of medical attention. If you need it, always reach out and take care of yourself. Or if you are feeling you ever want to hurt yourself, there is somebody standing by at 1-800-273-8255. And or you can always call 911 if you need to. And we'd love to hear from you. If you want to go on Facebook. You can look me up at Joanne Williams or ESA Evaluation 16. Or you can always listen to those other podcasts I mentioned and see the videos at anxietysimplified.net. And if you might be helped by an emotional support animal or a psychiatric service dog to go with you in places that does create anxiety for you, they really truly can give a lot of support. You can find about more information at esapros.com. So thank you for listening. We really, really appreciate it. And if you can show your support by rating, reviewing, subscribing, we really appreciate it. And please share this with someone you think it could help. And remember to practice the skills we shared today to feel more happiness, less anxiety in your life. And please don't hesitate to contact us at anxietysimplified.net if you do want more information. Or you can see other podcasts, as I said, at anxietysimplified.net. So have a great day, and I hope this helps you to feel the calm. Bye for now.